That went slow.
All right, hopefully you can still see it.
Yeah, I see it real good.
Okay, I think this is where we left off last time, somewhere about right here. Is that what you had?
Yeah, you'd mentioned to go over these as applications of the pluperfect.
Yeah,
The verses at the
193.
top of that.
Yeah. What we're going to do is we're going to go through
193.
these, and it's an intensive pluperfect. And we have several verses that are examples, and in fact, these verses have the aden, which is from oida. It's the second pluperfect form of it. So we look here, and what I'm going to highlight it. That's what we're going to have. We're going to look at Romans 7:7 and see it there. Okay. And I think this explains Romans 7:7, which is a troublesome verse. I think it being pluperfect makes it pretty clear. In my judgment, it does. So I'm going to get out of this file and go back over to Romans 7:7. So we're going to get out of this file. I'm going to stop sharing it. And I'm going to start sharing Romans. And hopefully you can see Romans now, can you?
Yes, sir, I see it.
Okay, you got Romans on your computer?
Yes, sir.
Romans 7:7. All right. What shall we say then? I'm reading the American Standard. Is the law of sin? God forbid. Howbeit I had not known sin except through the law. For I had not known coveting except the law had said, thou shalt not covet. Now, had not known is our word here. It's this word I'm highlighted right here. I had not known. Uk Aden. Right?
You pronounce it Aden instead of Adane. Is there a reason?
Yeah. A Dane. Yeah, a Dane is probably better.
Okay. Because that's a diphthong and it's a.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, had not known. This is gnosko from gnosko. And that's an elementary knowledge, except through the law. Now, Paul is personating, not impersonating, but personating. He's taking the place of a Jew under the patriarchal law before they are given the law of Moses. That's what I believe he's doing here. For I had not known, and here it is. Here's that word. And it's first person singular pluperfect of oida, indicative active. I had not known coveting. Now, we don't find up until the law of Moses was given a specific commandment not to covet. It's not laid out. So a Jew learned at this time when the law was given about coveting. I'm going to talk about that in some sense. Now, we're not going to worry about the Sabbatarians and their idea, wrong idea, but Decalogue. That's some of my notes on Romans 7:7. Right? The Lord said, thou shalt not covet. I wouldn't have known about coveting. Now, see, I was not knowing up to that time. And we're going to go back and look at the pluperfect tense and see what it means. I have quotes over here in my notes. Except the Lord said, thou shalt not covet. So the law said that. And at that point, I came to the point of knowing that coveting was wrong. Worldly people, those who neither have been taught nor believed in the scriptures, don't find a problem with coveting. I have around guys that my teaching at classes at the FAA, and these guys will say, well, I was looking there and there's nothing wrong with looking as long as I don't touch her. And I thought, I always think to myself, that not that it's wrong with looking if you're looking for the purpose of lusting. Matthew 5:32. But you see, they haven't learned this. So worldly people, those who have never been taught nor have believed the scriptures, have no problem with coveting what others possess. However, Paul is personating, and we'll define the word personate and with the dictionary here in a minute, Jew. And it's similar to impersonating. And the pluperfect verb known, adain, reveals that Israel did not understand that coveting was a sin until Mount Sinai, until it was given the Decalogue, the Ten Commandments. Now here's Wiener. He's quoted by Porter. Now Winer is German and it's pronounced as a V. With regard to Tagar, Wiener wrote, Tagar, Romans 7:7, is for also or for indeed. Porter also says, that's Wiener, third edition, 1882. Levinson contends that te is not used to join items of equal significance, but either to join unequal items or to indicate a connection between them. Now, the tagar is what we have here in this passage. The law and the prohibition against coveting are unequal. The whole, the law, is greater than the part. So that's why I use te instead of kai. Okay? And that's te up here. I use this particle. Right? In this case, they were unequal and there was connection, but there was still a connection between them. So te has things that are unequal, but they're connected. Does that make sense? And so this is one commandment, that's an uncovered, is connected to the Decalogue, the law of Moses, and particularly in this case, the Decalogue, the Ten Commandments. But it's not equal to the Ten Commandments because it's just one part of it. The part's not equal to, not as great as the whole. The whole's greater than the part. Okay? All right? If they were equal, he would have used kai instead of te. Okay? Now, with regard to Adan being the pluperfect, we note, and now I'm going to quote Dana and Manny, Intermediate Greek Grammar, section 185, and it's on page 205 in their book. Since the pluperfect is but the perfect indicative of past time, the significance and principal uses are the same. It represents action as complete and the results of the action in existence at some point in past time. So this action was completed in the past and the results were there in the past. The point of time being indicated by the context. And the context here tells us that when the Decalogue was given, that's what the context is telling us. The temporal force of the pluperfect is incidental, arising from its use in the indicative. But since it's used only in the indicative, it never occurs without time significance. That is to say, the essential and invariable temporal reference of the pluperfect indicative arises only from the mood rather than from the tense. Okay? So it's past perfect tense is basically what it is. It's pretty close to that in English. Not exactly the same, but it's something that was completed in the past and the results were there in the past. Now let's look further and get some more wording on it. Vaughn and Gideon in the intermediate level book. The pluperfect tense found only infrequently in the New Testament is to the perfect tense what the imperfect is to the present. That is to say, it is an auxiliary to the perfect, differing only from it in the matter of time. The perfect represents a completed state from the standpoint of the present time. It's completed in the past and it's completed right now, see. The pluperfect represents a completed state or condition from the standpoint of the past time. From this, it may be seen that there is in the pluperfect a double emphasis. So remember, this is pluperfect. A past state resulting from previous action. So I came to know as a result of the Decalogue, the Ten Commandments being given, that coveting was wrong. Its uses are the same as principal use of the perfect. A verb is the decidedly linear emphasis, the pluperfect is essentially the force of the imperfect. More often, It is used to emphasize an action completed and the results continued up to some point in the past. Consummative. Pluperfect. All right. Now here's black. And the pluperfect tense indicates a past state resulting from an action prior to it. The state continued up to some point in the past, and at this time it presumably ceased. Otherwise, the perfect tense would have been used. So the pluperfect was never widely used even thus, but it does occur a few times in the New Testament. Use pluperfect are identical to those of the perfect tense. See about months, I think it's how it's pronounced, months, I think. The pluperfect is used to describe an action that was completed and whose effects are felt at a time after the completion, but before the time of the speaker. So Paul, in personating the Jews under the patriarchal law, they came to know that coveting was wrong when the Decalogue, the Ten Commandments, were given at Mount Sinai. That's what he's saying there. And that makes perfectly good sense. That's what we say. Now here's some more, and I'm not going to go through and read all of these, but I will scroll them slow enough that someone who's looking at it can get this if they want to just pause their computer. This Kostenberger here, it's a new grammar that's put out in the last 5 or 6 years, intermediate grammar. All right. Any questions? Here's how I understand this. At some time in the past, this was Romans 7:7 again, evidence from the pluperfect tense here, Paul, personating a Jew, came to the knowledge that coveting was sinful at the giving of the law of Moses at Mount Sinai. Paul is using himself by synecdoche, by personation, to represent the Jews under the law of Moses. This seems to be saying that Israel did not know that one could sin with his thoughts, motives, and evil motives in the heart until the Decalogue was given. That revealed it at that time, Exodus 20:17, and Deuteronomy 5:21. This point is manifest when we're around non-believers. Some non-believers have no problem with hating people. They know that murder is wrong, but they don't hate someone. Even the Jews who had the law of Moses had trouble with this. We see this in Matthew 5:43-48. Some of the Jews claimed that one could not define who his neighbor was. It appears this passage, along with Matthew 5:43-48, that they wanted to hate their enemies, so they did not want to try to learn the proper definition of a neighbor. Right? So this gets into loving your neighbor, and these are illustrations and examples. And again, I'll give enough time so one can pause and study this more fully if they want. Later, some Jewish Christians wanted the Gentile converts to, in effect, become Jewish proselytes as a condition for becoming members of the church. We refer to them as Judaizing teachers. This problem was addressed in the books of Romans, 2nd Corinthians, and Galatians. Right? And some other books. All right? Now here's how I translated Romans 7:7, and we'll go back to our material. What shall we say then? Is the law sin? May it not come to pass. Howbeit, I had not known sin except through the law. For I had not known coveting, that coveting is sin, see, except the law was saying, you shall not covet. And I footnoted the footnote 306, and here, previously acquired knowledge. Okay. Now, are there questions? Benjamin's not here tonight, but Jerry's here, and Bobby and Jerry. Bobby, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna minimize this. All right. And I will stop sharing. Robert's grammar. All right, can you see Robert's grammar again? Make sure we got it still back on.
Yes, sir.
All right, good. All right, so this is the second pluperfect. Now, first and second pluperfect are just different in form. That's the only difference. They're not different in meaning. So remember that, just because it's second pluperfect, that's just different form. It's from oida, which is an irregular verb, okay? All right, we'll come to the irregular verbs later, okay? Any questions now? You have this same situation occurring in these passages up here. And the same Greek word, adain. And what I'm saying is, if you will look at those verses, you can see the same idea that we had in Romans 7:7 without. And so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4 other verses, same word. And you get the same thrust. And it makes much simpler to see it when you put that with those words. All right, any questions? All right, we have also 3 more passages below it, and these are different words for us, okay? We have Mark 10:1, John 19:25, and Matthew 12:7. Okay. Any questions from either one, Jerry or Bobby? Now, if you wanted to study this further, I would look at these other passages, and you can see the same thrust of the same idea that we've laid out here. That would be helpful. And of course, Mark 10, and then we have John 19:25 and Matthew 12:7. Okay. All right. Now we have. Yes, go ahead.
John 19:25. I looked up all 3 of these up, and John 19:25 was, he basically there uses the word "este kesing," and the idea that I saw was that they had stood beside the cross. They had stood.
They had stood.
Okay, so they were near the cross, and they continued to stay there, even though that he was being mocked and scorned, and because of the crowd.
Yeah, they had stood, and then they were not standing there anymore, were they, see?
Mhm.
So they ceased to be in that state. That's why he didn't use the perfect. They used the pluperfect. They had been standing, and they weren't anymore standing beside the cross, see? So that's where your pluperfect comes in. That illustrates it quite well.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Now, this is real important. Romans 7:7 is a troublesome verse. Calvinists have trouble with it. Even my brethren have trouble with it. I had trouble with it for years until I recognized this pluperfect. And it just clicked. Made perfectly good sense then. All right? But it's very hard to interpret if you don't look at the Greek. That's the problem. Now, I'm going to go on, and if you fellows want to come back on it and ask questions on it next week, we can look at these verses. We can just go through them and look at them. If you want to do that, just kind of let me know, and we'll do that next week. It's no problem. We're here to learn the Bible, learn Greek, but we're applying it to the Bible. I call it applied Greek. Okay. All right. Vocabulary, section 194. Anakoreo, I depart, or I withdraw. Epigenosko, I know. And notice he says, I know clearly or fully, I recognize. Now I'm going to separate it over here with my mouse. And we would have this. Gnosko after it is also a verb for knowing, but it's more of an elementary knowledge. Fundamentals. I liken it to it, even though it's not the same word, but I liken it to milk and meat. Okay. And go to Hebrews 5, if I might look at it that way. All right. Epigenosko. And I pointed this out maybe last week, I can't remember, but it won't hurt to reinforce it. I believe it's in 2 Peter. We have gnosko and epignosko contrasted. And unfortunately, our English translation translates them both as no. And we miss the thrust of it. And so there is a contrast there in the book, which we kind of miss. Right? I've been working on 2 Peter, and I'm going to try to work through it, get some good notes on it, or at least do some work on it. I don't know that my notes are that great. Ireka, or Ireka, Ireka. I have spoken. That's perfect tense. For I shall know. Now look at the form of these words here. Right here. I'll highlight it. That doesn't even look like Lego. This is like go, went, gone in English. It's irregular. Lego is gone. It's irregular. A day is an adverb already. A dane, that's a word we just looked at. That's pluperfect of oida, undo. Optasia, vision. And think of an ophthalmologist, see, and that word has come from that. Piazzo, I sees, nay, yea, it's yea. And it's a little bit different than yes. Yea is stronger. It's more like, almost like a firm established, they will use that term sometimes in Congress or in the Senate. And it's a yea instead of yes. And it's stronger than yes. Osea, evening. So tithemi, of course you can see here, and I'll break it again. So you see the soon and tithemi, preposition soon and tithemi, okay? So there we have it. Peyron, over, beyond, on the other side. And this word is used to refer, usually frequency beyond the Jordan. It's used beyond the Jordan, which to a Jew would generally be in the eastern direction to the east, or the Jordan was the east side of Palestine, or what we call Palestine, what they call Canaan, right? Scotia, darkness. Host, that's an adverb of manner, of comparison, so that host, parapluo, and para is beside, pluos to sail. It's to sail by. So when they sail beside or sail by a certain place, and that would be probably used in the book of Acts. Okay. Any questions? All right. Now, let's see what we can do here. And why don't we do this? And just drag my mouse. And when I do click the mouse, Bobby, can you do this first?
Yes, sir. Ana Echorason Palain Altos Monos. He withdrew himself only again, or he withdrew himself again only. I didn't know where to put the only.
No.
He only withdrawed himself again. That'd be right.
Okay.
I put harder instead of.
Could be alone too. Alone could be alone. He drew himself alone. He was only himself. It was only himself, so we could translate it alone.
Alone.
He went through alone. Through. Monos is only, or could be alone, or only.
Yeah.
Right.
Could it be departed, or would it have to
He
be
himself
withdrawn?
withdrew again alone. He withdrew to the place where he was alone.
Yeah. Was the word withdrew? Could that be departed?
Yeah.
Or did that carry the wrong emphasis?
Well, I think it could be. Let's look back up at it. Could depart or withdraw. See, It's true.
Oh, okay, it wasn't there. Okay, I thought that's where I got that. Now I lost where it was. Okay.
Now, I have my lexicon dictionary over here. I'll send this to you guys again because I've added probably 2 or 3 pages and more words to it. All right, and we'll go with Jerry, if you would, Jerry. I did it on the screen.
Okay. Post day, optia, egenento, kate, bason, hoi, mathetai, atu, epi, dalasason. And this one I probably messed up. When evening began to be, the disciple went down toward the sea, or upon the sea.
Okay. His disciples went down upon the sea.
Oh, his instead of thee.
Atu is his. The disciples of him.
Well, that's what I put. The disciple of him.
That would be, English would probably have it as his disciples.
Okay, his disciple. You have to add thee.
He went down upon the sea. Got anything to add there to it there?
But is that like he got in a boat? I mean, the disciple got in a boat.
Yes, they went down upon the sea. They got upon the sea. We know they were.
Well, no, Jesus could get upon the sea, but I don't think the disciple could go get
No.
upon the sea.
Not at this part. Okay. Okay.
Unless he was in something in between them.
Now, did you find any words there that were pluperfect?
No, I don't see any.
Okay. All right. So let's go on then.
Okay. Kai Arphote, Barantes, Belaces, Ace, Kaparna, that word's misspelled. It's Carfarnate,
Capernaum.
Yeah, it's supposed to have a omicron after the alpha.
Supposed to have an omicron after what?
The alpha, the last alpha, it's nu alpha upsilon mu.
Okay, so there's a mistake there, you say?
Yes, sir.
It is.
I think it's done right in the book, but that's where I think I went to the book and found it. I had a hard time trying to figure it out. I figured it's Capernaum, but I couldn't. The ending didn't look right. So,
This is lesson 27, right?
26, 25.
25. Let's look at 15. Can't even read my Roman numerals.
Yeah, it's right in the book. Page 82.
Yep. That's supposed to be an Omicron right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll correct it in the master copy when I get home. Okay. All right.
They were going on the other side of the sea to Capernaum.
Okay. Beyond the sea unto Capernaum. Capernaum is the city or the village of Nahum, the prophet. The claim was that he was that's where he was from. That was the tradition of the Jews. an Omicron there, so I'll correct that.
Instead of what?
I'll be just putting it right here. I'll just cut
Oh, right.
and paste. Okay. Maybe that's where it belongs right
There
there.
you go.
Then
No,
I'll save it on this computer, but it won't matter.
Or,
I've got a master computer at home that I'll copy from, kind of correct it on it. Okay, thank you for pointing that out. We'll get it fixed in the original copy.
okay. Kai, Scotia, wait a minute, am I in the right place?
Yes,
Kai, Scotia, Heyday, Own, Kai, Upo, Eleluthe, Bros, Hachus, Ho, Yesu. And I wrote small. And darkness now, oh, and it was now dark, or darkness now was being, is what I put, and not yet was come near to him, Jesus. So darkness was come, and Jesus had not yet come near.
yeah, and that looks like, is that blue perfect?
Yeah, was being egegon.
Yeah.
They,
it had become,
so I put was being,
Okay, I think that's good.
but then then when you put it into word English in a sentence, I didn't flow.
Well, that's a problem, because sometimes the Greek is more exact than we have trouble putting it in English, okay?
It's really, you're in the middle of darkness, you know. Before it was darkness had just begun. Now it's darkness was there.
Let's just take this far, if you will. Anything to add there, Bobby?
well, I had that, blue perfect there. It had become, I got, and by this time it had become dark and Jesus had not yet come to them.
Okay, so you have it, it's blue perfect there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. And so it had become, and see, whenever he's telling it, it's no longer dark.
Right.
So it became dark at that time, and then it's not dark anymore, see? Not still dark. So that would fit the blue perfect quite well, wouldn't it?
Right.
So you're saying right here, I'll put my mouse on it right here, this word right here was blue perfect.
Yes, sir. E- egg go egg gone from Gemini.
I think it's, if you will now, go ahead if you will there. Bobby, on this next one, just what I've got highlighted on the screen.
Okay. Kai mata tuto lege autois Lazarus ho philos hemon ki koin meta. Is that all of it?
Yeah.
And I have, and after this, he said to them, our friend Lazarus is asleep.
So this is perfect.
Is
Middle
asleep.
voice, okay. He says it's middle. That's his interpretation is probably correct. But
Okay.
remember, middle as a form that could be in the middle or passive.
He himself is asleep. Would that
Right?
be right?
Yeah.
He himself is okay.
Right. Okay. Now, So Lazarus has gone to sleep. Jerry, can you take what's highlighted there?
Yeah. Ereke, De, Ho, Yesu, Peri, Tu, Fana, Tu, Atu. Um, but spake Jesus concerning his death, or the death of him.
Okay. So Jesus was speaking. Is that perfect or is that perfect?
It's not, I don't think it's perfect.
The ending.
Oh, yeah, because it was just third person. Yeah, perfect third person.
Okay.
So Jesus was speaking concerning his death.
Was speaking, but he's not speaking anymore. See,
Yeah.
that makes sense?
Mhm.
That fits quite well. Makes perfectly good sense once you kind of figure out what the pluperfect means. And so this kind of gets us a way of kind of getting in our minds, okay? Go ahead, if you will. The next one, back to Bobby, if you would.
Oi loi de ek ton e odeo. Elelus thesen pros te Martha kai Maria. But many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary.
Okay,
They had come. That's blue perfect.
okay. So they had come, but
Yeah.
they weren't still coming or right,
Yeah.
toward or toward Martha and Mary. Okay. Notice that Mary is Maria. You knew that, of course. Maria is Greek for Mary.
You know, we use that also that pluperfect a lot. They say, you know, we talk about our family like they had come, to the house.
Yeah, that would be past perfect tense in English, which
Okay. Yeah, that's perfect.
covers it covers a lot of the same thing.
I'll have to remember
Pretty
that
similar.
in English.
That's a good way to illustrate it. They
That's
had come, but they're not there anymore. See. Okay. All right. Back to Jerry.
I didn't get that far with those. I went to the other and I ran out of time before I got this
Okay.
any further.
Bobby, can you do the next one?
Yes, sir. Martha lege auto ne cure eco e pistuca. Hoti su e ho Christos ho huios to theo. Martha says to him, Yea, Lord, I have believed that you are the Christ, the Son of God.
I believe that you are being the Christ, the Son of God. Say you are. Now, I want you to notice here one thing about this. Whenever we have Sue, this pronoun right here,
Yeah.
in this case, used second person nominative case, singular. In that form, it's automatically emphatic because that pronoun is with the verbs, so it's automatically emphatic. So she's emphatic. What is the case of Kari here?
It's vocative, I think.
It's a vocative case. She's addressing him. See?
Okay. I had a little problem with that.
Okay. Okay. So. All right. Is this perfect or imperfect, or what is this verb here? Missed it.
It's perfect.
Perfect. Okay. I have believed and still believe. See that she didn't believe in the past and quit believing. So that's perfect.
I
I believed in the past and I still believe. That's how we might interpret it. She believed in the past and she still believes. And my faith has not been shaken. If she's talking to Jesus after Lazarus dies, she still hasn't lost her faith. Some people get all upset when a loved one dies.
I can't.
Wait, I'm sorry, you gonna say something there?
Well, you went off. So I didn't know what you was saying. Okay.
Okay, what I said was, it's perfect tense. Martha believed in the past and still believes.
Yes.
And
Okay.
she lost her brother, who loved, whom she loved greatly, and she's not going to be mad at the Lord and disbelieve in the Lord. And because some people do that, and they lose a loved one, they get all mad at the Lord.
Yeah.
But not Martha. She didn't do that. Any questions? Right.
It's,
This one I can mostly do, except the last word.
Okay. Go ahead, village.
Village.
Right.
Hupo de Eleluthe, O Jesu Haste Te Komain. But Jesus was not yet come unto the village. Not yet being the perfect. No, it was come.
We
It
don't
was
have,
come was the perfect.
all right. All right. Let's do the next one. Anything you want to add there?
well, that's what I got. Ho Jesus epe pu teke ete auton. Jesus says, where have you laid him?
You placed him. See, it's Tiffany. It's from
Yes.
Tiffany. You placed or laid or placed him, see? You laid him is good rendering too. So where have you laid him? Now, I want to tell you something in your compiled text. Right here where the cursor is, you can see it flashing right there. Epsilon, iota, pi, epsilon.
Right.
Many times they'll end that with a nu, even though it's not called for you. Next word doesn't begin with a vowel. But a lot of your text will put a nu there, okay? So be aware of that. It's just one of those things. I don't know, but that's pretty common.
Okay, that's a long one. Where's BJ? Where's Ben? Okay. Jerry got that one?
No, I
No,
don't.
Jerry didn't get it all done. Okay.
Okay, let me see. Jesus hede hoti ho theos pentote auton ekue ala dia ton upgalon a pen hoste autus pistuse hote theos a pistelke auton auton. And let's see what I got. Jesus knew that God always is listening, but on account of the crowd, therefore he tells them to believe because God has sent him.
Okay. All right. So now I want to make two quick points. It's just about time for the bell. Allah here.
Which one?
Two things that are in different
Yes.
classes. Okay. So, all right now over here. Hit the wrong one. See right here we had I said there'd be a nu a lot of times and not called for it right here. There is a nu and it is called for here.
Yeah.
But they'll have it right up here a lot of times. It's called for because that's a vowel, the omega is. Right?
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? All right. Tell you what we'll do. Uh, if Benjamin has questions about it, we can go back and cover some of this some more. Just
Okay.
we want to do text B next week a little bit.
Well, sir, be all right with me.
All right, let's do text B
Uh,
next week and then get into the next lesson. Okay.
okay. Okay. On number 5, that first number 5, it's got a misspelled word.
It's got what?
A misspelled word. Para play usa. It's para play use.
Okay.
Number 5.
All right, I will check it and
Yeah.
Yeah,
correct.
because this word's not in there. It wasn't in
Yeah, I looked in the back and kept looking for the endings and I couldn't find it.
All right, let me look and I'll see.
Yeah, it's para plus. Para plus. Sigma alpha iota on the end.
It has an iota at the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah. I see it. It's an infinitive.
Yeah. There's the definitive.
I'll just go ahead and correct it now for the sake of the recording.
I didn't look in the book on that one. It's right in the book.
It's right in the book.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know why it's like that right here. Okay. But I'll save it again.
Okay.
And if I need it, I'd go back and look for it. All right. We're going to stop recording now. Let me get out of this.
Okay. Have a good day. Good week.